some thoughts. First of all, I'm not gonna be doing it like I did previously, where I go like, oh, then this happened, then this happened, then this happened. I don't know, it's just kind of boring, and like, there's places you can watch the highlights and things like that if you haven't watched it entirely anyway, so I don't know if that's very interesting, so I'd rather just kind of talk about the overarching things instead. But our first match is Rio Ripley versus Liv Morgan, and I think that what they did here was very good. It kind of happened throughout the entirety of the entire show as well, with the Judgment Day kind of falling apart by the end of it. Because the whole point of this match is Rio Ripley trying to get Dominic Mysterio back from Liv Morgan, right? And all that, and at the beginning of the match, even like Rhea's being super brutal, excuse the pun, and just, you know, but then like by the end of it, Liv Morgan kind of like with her trickiness and resourcefulness, she ends up getting the win. Just a little bit of what seems like inadvertent assistance from Dominic Mysterio, but then with the ending of this match, Dom going off and kissing Liv and them walking off into the proverbial sunset together. And like, yeah, the shots of Rhea really selling the emotion at that moment. And it's funny because like Dominic Mysterio is like like he's the biggest heel in the WWE right now, but somehow like with this move became even bigger of a heel. But I think this is good because like in a sense, Rhea Ripley has been meant to be a heel this entire time, right? And like early on she was fairly heelish in like her moves and stuff like that, because she is very aggressive and brutal, can be very heel-like, but she is so incredibly over with the crowd. That's kind of like ridiculous to keep pretending like she's some heel that the crowd hates when she's getting loud cheers every night. So I think with this, the betrayal of Dominic, and then Liv Morgan, the way she acted in this match and has been acting the last few weeks and all that, Rhea Ripley now is a very believable face turn that she can do, or at least be some sort of like tweener type, which, you know, she realistically has been this entire time. But I think it's really interesting, and I think it's going to be interesting to see how this proceeds going forward. The Rhea Liv storyline, maybe removing Dominic Mysterio from the equation, will be whatever it takes for Rhea to get her title back, because kind of the easy money here was Rhea getting her title, right? Like that's kind of what you would have expected, because she's just, it's weird because she had this sort of mystique, this aura of being very unbeatable, but then she lost like twice in a pretty quick span there, or at least I guess she had the injuries. I don't know if that really counts as a loss, but maybe that aura, that unbeatable aura, has kind of been shattered a little bit. So now they can kind of play with that a little bit. But after that, we had my second favorite match of the evening from a match perspective, which was Braun Breaker versus Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn has really grown on me a lot watching him, you know, in my short stint here as a WWE watcher. And Braun Breaker as well, for a guy that size to move the way that he does is not natural. I need to see Braun Breaker's stack ASAP. See how much trend he's running, but I really like this match, and like just the moves they were doing, the back and forth these guys had. Like I said, just that aspect of it was my second favorite of the entire event, but I don't know if something happened or like something went wrong, or if there was just a timing issue either with the previous segment or something else. But this match felt extremely short, especially compared to the match following this, feel like this match, Braun Breaker versus Sami Zayn, could have done with an extra 3 or 4 minutes or so. Because it really felt like they were going, and like, it was just getting really good. And I was like, oh yeah, this rocks, we're getting into it. And I'm like, building interest in it, then all of a sudden it was just over. And that was really disappointing to me. Again, I don't know if there was some behind the scenes issue, or somebody got hurt or something, or maybe that's just, a casualty of the limited time spot that they had. But Braun Breaker did win this match, as Sami Zayn is no longer Intercontinental Champion. Did I mention that Liv Morgan won in the last match? I think I did. But it's gonna be interesting. Sami, like I said, Sami has really grown on me. His whole segment beating Gunther really endeared him to me. Yeah, I really like his wrestling style as well. Like I said, Braun Breaker, like he's one of my favorite next wave guys coming up right now that, in a handful of years are going to be the top dogs. I really like him a lot. I just really would have liked to have seen more of this match. Before we got to the next one, which was Logan Paul versus LA Knight. Logan was in the Cleveland Browns colors, which I thought was really cool. It was funny, like, he came with MGK and some other guys, and, Logan is from Cleveland originally, repping the Browns. But even then, you were getting some, like, Logan sucks chants. Which, I guess that's sort of inevitable, right? And LA Knight, of course, getting absolutely massive pops everywhere you go. But, this, like I said, this match was good, technically. Logan had this really good moonsault that he hit. The way he hit it was just amazing to watch. But I think this match had too many, like, pin, kick out. Then we'll do a couple moves, and I'll try and pin you when you'll kick out, and then you'll do some stuff, and you'll try to pin me, and I'll kick out. And they went back and forth with the kick outs. I felt like a bit too much. Like I said, this match, whereas the last match, Sami versus Braun, there was a point where I was like kind of on the edge of my seat and like, alright, I want to see some more of this, like I'm invested. Then it ended. This match kind of hit a high point for me, and then it kind of kept going, and then it kept going, and then it kept going. And there's a point where it's kind of like, I kind of wish this match was over already, like, as good as it was. So, I would have liked to have maybe seen a few minutes of this match siphoned off to the previous match, but you had LA Knight win, which, I don't know, I'm not sure about Logan Paul's contract status. I don't assume he's going anywhere. Maybe he's going to start pushing for a bigger title, but Logan Paul is pretty much already a part-timer. I don't know if that's going to change when the Netflix change and stuff happens, but he pretty much only shows up for pay-per-views, and only a couple of them. He doesn't even do all of them, so it's going to be interesting to see what he does going forward. But LA Knight will be a more active belt holder, I reckon. I imagine he's going to have quite a few title defenses before he ends up dropping it, but I'm not a massive LA Knight fan. I don't dislike the guy at all, but LA Knight's just not a guy that, really gets me up out of my seat. He's not somebody I'm really invested in, but that's just me. I know he clearly does have a lot of fans based on the crowd and fan reactions to him. Then we get Nia Jax versus Bayley. This is probably my least favorite match of the evening. And a big part of that was the Tiffany Stratton angle. Nia Jax versus Bayley was, fine. It was kind of a slow match, which compared to Logan Paul versus LA Knight, which Stratton come out, the Nia Jax and Bayley are both down the mat. Then it's Tiffy time hits and Tiffany Stratton comes running out with her money in the bank. She pretty much immediately gets taken out, which is frustrating to me because that means now both Money in the Banks have failed on cash-in, so it's not really a like a narrative device for like another year now, like the rest of this year until we get back to Money in the Bank. Which was only like a month or so ago, maybe 2 months ago. It's kind of like because I know like at a certain point the Damian Priest thing kind of became long in the tooth, and but when Damian Priest finally did cash in, it was super amazing and has set up a really interesting angle. I'm not saying obviously you can't do that every single year, but having 2 failed cash-ins this quick, I don't know, it's a little bit lame to me. But then what was weird was like Tiffany Stratton celebrating with Nia Jax afterwards, and like obviously I know that Tiffany and Bayley have beef, but Tiffany clearly went out there wanting to get the belt for herself, so even though she can be happy Bayley lost, you think she'd still be kind of miffed that Nia Jax had the belt instead of her, instead of like standing there like hugging Nia Jax, jumping up and down and celebrating. I don't know, maybe there's something I'm missing there as somebody who doesn't watch the show weekly and just watches the events. That might be, I'm missing some angles there, which I completely accept that that's a possibility. And then we have Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk with Seth freaking Rollins as the referee. I have to say, like, when I first saw Seth Rollins, I kind of was like, I kind of didn't like him. But then, like, between WrestleMania and this, and, like, just, everything I've seen about Seth since that initial negative first impression, I really like Seth Rollins. And he was great as the referee in this match. I kind of mentioned in the last video, I kind of feel like the CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre's gotten a little bit long in the tooth. Especially because Drew, like, has just been punked over and over and over. Pun intended, I suppose. Been punked over and over and over. And it's kind of like at some point, it just like, and then for me, this match kind of felt too little too late, especially because, like, I think I said it in my last video that the only way at this point Drew beats CM Punk in a satisfying manner is if he absolutely squashes him, because, like, he has been, punked over and over and over and made to look bad, so just beating him regularly, like, okay, even though you get the win, he's still scoreboard, buddy. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, you got a touchdown at the end of the game, but they got 3. I think that's kind of what this felt like, because I was kind of anticipating, especially because I knew that there were 2 matches after this. I was like, alright, this is going to be like a 5-minute squash match, and Drew is just going to go Claymore, pin over, like Brock Lesnar versus John Cena or something. With the F1 spam. But that didn't really happen. And there were parts of this match where Punk was like really in control. Even though there was in the beginning, and I know he's going back from injury, but in the beginning it's like, ooh, Punk's kind of looking his age right here. He looked a little bit slow, a little bit old to some of those. But then as the match went on, he kind of worked his way back into it, it felt like, and he had some really good spots with Drew. They do work well together, which is funny enough in the ring, but I don't know, this match was too back and forth for me, because I feel like this story kind of has to be dead now. They both have to move on to bigger and better things, whatever that may be. Drew needs to try and get a belt. Punk is probably gonna be doing doing something with John Cena for John Cena's like retirement tour he's doing, which is probably going to result in John Cena getting his 17th World Championship off of CM Punk somehow. I don't know if that's going to work, but you know, so they have things to do, but this didn't feel like it should have ended the beef. I would have preferred a squash match. But I think this was my second least favorite match of the evening. The Saved by Seth Rollins as the referee, who did some really good work playing this sort of conflicted guy. He did some great guest referee work. I really enjoy Seth Rollins there, but Drew does get the win, but for me it wasn't super satisfying. And now we come to my favorite match of the card, which was Damian Priest versus Gunther. Damian Priest obviously has the heavyweight belt coming into this match. He does end up dropping it to Gunther, which we pretty much all expected he would. But unlike basically every previous Gunther match, save for even Sami Zayn, even though I think in this match Damian Priest looked better and stronger than Sami Zayn ever did. Damian Priest looked really strong in this match, and he looked like the better wrestler who only lost because of Finn Balor's interference. So obviously now you're going to have this disillusion of the Judgment Day. And I think it sets up some interesting stuff, because obviously Damian Priest is now going to shift his sights to a feud with Finn Balor, most likely. And then Gunther is going to do whatever he does as the heavyweight champion, but I think this sets up an opportunity to revisit this, because I don't know if Gunther will be happy with the manner in which he won this match, because in Gunther's eyes, even though he got the belt, he knows he didn't really beat Damian Priest, and I didn't think they would do that. I thought that honestly Gunther was going to look way better, way stronger than Priest, but I think Priest looked stronger than Gunther in this match, and that's going to obviously, like I said, leave the door open to revisiting this matchup at a later date, which I think could be really good. And Damian Priest is another of those guys who's really grown on me, and who I really like, and I'm really interested to see, because I know he's a bit older, so I don't know how much longer he has left in the WWE, but I'm really interested to see how these things go for him in the following months, years, etc., because I do like his character. And finally we have Cody Rhodes versus Solo Sikoa with the Bloodline rules. This match was okay. It was kind of a bit slow, which I felt was weird. I don't know if that's on account of Solo or whatever, because you know, comparing this to Cody Roman, or even Cody versus AJ, or you know, this felt really slow compared to those. But you know, respect is due. Solo Sikoa, I haven't seen a ton of him, and I think a lot of that is kind of on account of how he has been used storyline-wise, like when Roman was still around. But he looked better here than I've seen him in the past. And seeing Solo get the big main event stage and kind of the spotlight is cool, because as much as you can hate his character or whatever else from some behind the scenes footage I've seen, he seems like a really cool and funny dude, so that was pretty cool. And of course this is Bloodline rules, so you get the Bloodline come out, then Kevin Owens and Randy Orton comes out, but Jacob Fatu is left, and of course, you know, you already know about it, just the big storyline of this whole thing. Roman Reigns comes back to reclaim his title of Tribal Chief, exert his position as head of the table. He hits the huge spear on Solo. You know, gives Cody the nod, and I loved the way that Roman and Cody played that, where Cody was kind of unsure. He kind of kept giving him sidelong glances, and he wasn't too sure about what he should do, but Cody obviously, eventually pins Soloo, gets the win. And I think we're setting up a face Roman, where Roman's gonna probably be allied with Cody, or at least not be antagonistic with him. It allows Jey Uso to get back in with Roman. And we're gonna get a Bloodline versus Bloodline Civil War, which we all knew that was coming, but this basically confirms it. And, from a non-kayfabe perspective, Roman looked really good and really healthy here. I know he's been having some health issues, obviously. Everyone knows that, but his face looked very full and vibrant, and, it seemed like the time off had done him some good, so it's gonna be cool to see what they do with the Bloodline Civil War. But then once that is finished, what they do with Roman going forward. Does he go back against Cody, try to get that title back? Does he come in and feud with John Cena as John Cena's doing his retirement stuff? I don't know, there's interesting things, but that was SummerSlam overall. Kind of meh. I'd give this maybe a 6.5 or 7 out of 10. Yeah, I don't know. I liked it better than King Queen of the Ring. I liked it better than Money in the Bank. But I don't think WrestleMania was better. France was better. Scotland was better. It was just kind of middle of the road for me. But anyway, guys, I do hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this almost every single day. Till next time, guys.